So today on Project Shop, we have tons of scrap to try to go through. Looks like we got some weather rolling in on us. I went to the scrap yard yesterday, picked up some nice 1500 watters. Got them for a decent price too. Even though I paid a little bit more than I normally would, I still think I'm gonna make out really nice. And then I left Miami, came back, dropped that trailer off, and then just hauled ass north. I went and picked up all this. So we have an absolute pile to go through here. So our goal today is to focus on that trailer and what's in the back of the truck. That should be a decent ticket right there. And then if we have time, we just have piles of scrap to go through. I really got to get this place cleaned up, because every time I try to clean up, it seems like it gets worse. I don't know how it's happening, but it's happening. So we need to do something about that, and fast. Is that something leaking oil? What the hell's going on here? Ooh. Oh. Okay. Got to get that sorted. All right, these things are pretty straightforward. I've done a ton of these in the past. Basically, 3/4, remove that stainless bolt, nut driver, open this plate, 1500 watt ballast in there. We got to remove the lamp, nut driver to remove the dome, and we should upgrade it. I paid 25 cents a pound for this stuff. We should get like 63, 62 or something out of the cast and sheet. And then a nice 1500 watt transformer, which 99% of the time are double copper, so I'm good with all that. So I'm gonna get Oliver set up on this. I'm gonna go put proper footwear on, and man, look at all that glass I bought. That's all right, we'll let it slide. So these should come apart relatively easy once we get a good system. Be careful, dude. Hey, Don't try to unscrew that. Just smash it with a hammer. If it ain't gonna come out. So I'm gonna get him set up on the proper tools.
I don't know, man. That looks like that's suspect.
That's copper. What you're going to want to do, spread these out. All right, we have an absolute mess of crap here. Now, unfortunately, these are all pretty much LED, so it's just going to be cracking the glass, cleaning the lenses, maybe pulling out a driver, and then pretty much going to go straight in the aluminum bin. We got Oliver over here stacking up some big boy transformers. Hey man, do you know which ones were pulled out of those first lights? Okay, I was gonna try and keep the copper separate for the ones I got from the scrapyard, but what we'll do is we'll weigh the aluminum, see where we're at. I forget what I paid for that, 250, 260, something like that. But I think we should recover our money just on the aluminum and the steel, and then the copper should be our profit. So also we went and sorted out what I had in the back of the truck, which was a lot of wire. Look at this radiator. This thing is massive. Look how thick that thing is, man. Normal radiator, massive radiator. Too bad it's not copper. But we got a lot of bright and shiny. It's just one of those buy and sell deals, so we'll make some money just taking it to Miami. This stuff we're not going to strip. This stuff we are going to strip, so I'm going to get those lights cleared up. We're going to throw it in that cast bin, and then we're going to get on to getting some copper in the bucket, because you know that's what we're ultimately here for. We're all about that copper. The aluminum's nice, but it don't weigh and it don't pay. The copper weighs and it pays. So I'm gonna kind of clean up my bench a little bit so I can work up there, and then we're gonna blow through this, then we're gonna crack transformers, and we're gonna strip wire, and maybe that might be it for the day. I don't know. All right, we went through all them lights. Oliver did most of the work. He did a great job knocking that crap out. We got a nice little pile of transformers. I know it's loud over here. I really wish I would have kept track of which ones came from those lights. I'm gonna say probably half of those, but we're good. These ballasts here I kept. I need to cut them with the jaw. I weighed we're at about 170. So we probably need to get about $80 more to break even. And I think we're easily going to do that because all of those transformers we pulled out were double copper. But we're going to make some money on it either way. So this is our aluminum bin. Let's weigh this up real quick. see where we're at. Scale was acting funny. Now it's -2. It was +2. It kept doing weird shit. But when I would stand on it, whatever the amount was would add right to the number. You know, I'm 180 pounds or 182 or 3. So it would go to like 185. Or I'm sorry, 285. I'm not that light. $643, so like oh, it was -2, so that would be 645 minus 79, 80 pounds. So about 560 pounds of cast worth, you know, probably about what's that, 60 cents a pound? Or maybe like 350, something like that. I don't know off the top of my head. What we're going to do now is we're going to offload the back of the truck here, because we're going to be working in the back of the shop, and I don't like leaving this copper out here like this, so we'll bring it up in the shop. Plus we're going to strip some, so I'm going to clear out that other bin. Ah man, I'd like to put that somewhere else. Problem is I don't have any drums. I forgot to get drums when I was in Miami, and all the drums I do have are full of crap. I guess I'm gonna have to start going through all these drums. They just keep accumulating, and there's some nuggets in there. There's some nice stuff in there. So yeah, we're gonna have to get this sorted. All right, we're gonna get the wire in the building, get set up on the transformers, and then we're gonna strip that wire and then call it a day. All right, that's gonna be it for today. Oliver had to go a little bit early, and then I'm just kind of cooked, honestly. It's Saturday, and I'm just gonna take the rest of the day off. Finally gonna take a whole day off, I'm gonna come back and strip this and head down to the scrap yard on Monday. I'll probably blow through them transformers and load up whatever I have, like this stuff here. I'll clean in the morning. I'll spend a couple hours here in the shop tinkering around and going through some things, getting a little bit more copper up. But we literally got scrap to the ceiling again and all the way out the shop. So stay tuned for a trip to Miami. I have 2 really awesome pickups coming up next week. One of them is from a pretty big situation. Another one is something that's free. I just got to go get it, but it's something I've always wanted. I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep it or if I'm going to sell it. I don't know, but it's going to be pretty cool, and it's going to go right along with what's in those 2 boxes over there, which I still need to get to. You're going to love that. I'm going to love that. Those are going to go along with multiple things in this shop and going to help basically save a lot of money. So we got a lot of cool things coming up, a lot of scrapping to do. So stay tuned and we'll see you on the next one. I'll tell you where we're going, right to the scrap yard. Dancing. You ever seen your copper dance before?